What's up, guys? So we're out here today taking a look at this Sunforce 15 LED bulb patio string light set. I got it at Costco and it's their item number 1600200. I paid $39 for this, which was regular price, but it still seems like a good deal because it is solar powered. That's gonna be a huge perk over the traditional patio string lights because you don't have to have it wired in permanently and have to worry about, you know, water and electricity if it rains and whatnot. And then it's still got the look of the traditional set with these light bulbs, not just the little miniature LEDs that we usually see. You see here it says it's good for outdoor use, powered by the sun. Adds a warm glow to backyard patios and gazebos and more. And back here it says that the cable is 33 feet long and each bulb is spread 2 feet apart. So it's going to be nice for once the sun goes down and we're out here on the yard enjoying this view and everything. So let's open it up and see what's all in the box. Alright, so let's open it up. First and foremost, you have the solar panel itself. It's going to be the brains of everything, obviously. It's actually got a little battery built in back here that you can unscrew and charge manually or change in case that ever goes out. Then you actually have a few ways of mounting it. They give you this little pole and spike that you can just drive into the ground if you want that this panel mounted on the ground. Then here you've got just some accessories for mounting the solar panel again. It's just a couple little different brackets. That way you've got various options. Then here are the bulbs themselves. This is going to be what we're all after. They're good in size. They seem to be made out of plastic, so they can weather a couple little impacts here and there if the wind flops them around, which can be an issue with some of the glass bulbs. I've actually had those break and that's never fun. Hopefully these don't yellow over time, but they seem durable enough to withstand the outdoors. Here's a little connector that you're going to use to just plug it into the back of this guy here, and once the sun goes down and this panel is fully charged, it should be able to maintain the light for a few hours. This is going to be how you're going to install it. You can do several different ways. You can drive, you know, a screw through here if you're putting it through wood or just whatever. I'm actually going to use kind of like a double-sided tape mount and then zip tie those to it. I'll show you how that goes here in a minute. For insulation, I'm going to be using these little mounts here. These are neat because they've got this back siding with two-way tape they can use to basically stick to everything, and then you can thread a little zip tie to it just like so and use that to mount your light on pretty much anything that you don't want to drill a hole in. These are rated for up to 40 pounds and they're for outdoor use, so this should be plenty strong enough for this little lightweight bulb set. I got these at Home Depot. They were only about $4 for this pack of 10, so it's not too expensive. I'm going to be using this 8-inch zip ties to secure them. You could use smaller ones, but these were all I had on hand in black, so they'll be plenty strong and they're cheap too, so I'm not really worried about using these up. Now, again, simple insulation. So what you're going to do is take this zip tie, feed it through back here, and note about these too, you can actually use a screw right down there in the middle to secure it extra firm if you're, you know, driving it in something you don't mind driving a screw in. But I'm going to be doing it through this metal pergola, so I'm just going to rely on these little sticky tabs. So you just put the zip tie through like that, and then feed that through like that. Give it a little slack, and then once it's mounted on the wall, it's going to be like that, and you'll tighten the zip tie down as tight as it needs to go for your insulation. Alright, so that's 1 down, 14 to go. Now, especially because this is going to be an outdoor product and going to be more than likely installed on an existing item, you're going to want to make sure you clean everything. So in order to do that, I'm going to be using this rubbing alcohol, which I actually got from Costco. It's a really good deal as well. You get that 2-pack for, I believe, about $3. Cannot beat that. And then just this microfiber cloth, which is, surprise, Kirkland, like everything else in this household. And you're gonna want some kind of measuring tape just to make sure everything's squared up, and some masking tape just to kind of mark here and there where you want the bulbs to go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean everything up and get it ready for install. Now here's the pergola where I'm actually gonna install the bulbs. It's got a TV mounted to it and these little side shades that are also from Costco. I'm gonna mount everything on the inside right in here and to that actual solar shade on the side, so everything's just kind of dangling and all contained with inside of the pergola. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and clean everything up and get to wiring it. All right, so I got everything laid out more or less how it's gonna be once it's up on the top of the pergola. You're gonna wanna note where the halfway mark of the lights are, which is what I marked with that little masking tape. And you're gonna wanna take in consideration the side that's got the plug for the solar aspect of it, because you're gonna wanna remember which side you want it to be on. For our situation, we wanted it on the left side, that way it's not showing as much when we walk out. All right, so let's get to mounting it all up. I've got everything mounted up now. As you can see, everything's stuck on with those little tabs. And you'll notice that the zip ties still have some slack on them. The reason I did that is because this is an outdoor product and the wire's gonna heat up and kind of stretch under the sun. It's been in the box all bound up, so I decided to leave some slack on them. That way, once everything stretches out, I can go ahead and tighten everything up and set it the way I want it. So, last step is this power connector here. I'm gonna have to find a place to mount it up there somewhere so it gets sun and can connect to the solar panel, which is also gonna be up there. All right, so let's figure that step out. On the solar panel itself, you have a few ways of mounting it. You can mount it in the ground with just this little spike and then just stick it in there, depending on your situation. That's not going to really work for my setup. So what I'm going to do is use this guy. This is kind of like a 2-piece deal here. You're going to screw the back of this into that with this provided hardware here. And then this kind of just clips in, if I could find the right way, like that. And that's going to mount up to whatever you got it on. There's multiple ways to mount this. You've got these screw holes here, and you can also use adhesive. There's lots of different ways. I am gonna get this wired up and we'll go from there. All right, so we are on top of the pergola and I found a place to mount this guy. Whenever I do stuff like this, I try not to drill too many extra holes. So I went ahead and found this little hole that was just there for who knows why. And the cool part about it is this screw hole mounts up to it pretty much perfectly. I am gonna probably have to drill a hole right over here, which is actually where this mount was, and it's been up there for a few years holding up this extension cable that we use for the TV. So that just kind of shows the durability of them. I had to really pry it off. I had to pry it with the knife, and it's stuck to that side just fine. So I'm not even really worried about it going anywhere. So I'm gonna have to find a screw that's big enough for that and see if I can get away with some mounting tape or if I have to drill another hole. All right, so that's not gonna really be feasible. So time to break this guy out. Let's drill some holes. So I'm gonna need some extra screws now. Let's see what we got here. It's good to have this little extra screws bin where you just keep all your random bits and everything. Looks like these are gonna do it. Bam. Feels nice and sturdy. I decided to drill some extra holes in there just because this thing isn't gonna be fully supported. I wanted to give it, you know, a fighting chance out here in the elements, and that thing feels strong. I don't think it's going anywhere. Right, so I got it clicked into place, and again, you can see this thing's sturdy. It's actually shaking the whole gazebo, so I'm not worried about it going anywhere. What's neat about this is you can actually tilt it, your maximum angle, and then you have the lock back here. It also has an on-off switch that you can do here, but I'm just gonna leave it on. All right, so let's wrench this down and get it connected to the power cord. All right, so I got it connected to power. You got to make sure that it links up. There's a little groove that these click in together, and then you just tighten this little guy down. I just went ahead and wrapped it around this pole. That's good enough for me. And got lucky, so I can actually tuck this away down here, and it actually keeps the connection out of the elements. Just like so. All right, so I got this facing that direction, which is gonna get ample sunlight, and it's time to turn it on. Bam. So not much is gonna happen now, but once the sun goes down and it gets dark enough, these guys are gonna light up. We'll be back with that. All right, and we have light. So you can see the moon's coming out, sun's setting. I'd already set actually, and these bad boys fired up. They put out actually pretty good amount of light for what they are. This battery was out charging in the sun for a couple of days, so it should be fully charged. But that said, they are a lot brighter than I thought they'd be, considering they're just little solar powered lights that were $40 for the whole set. I will take it for sure. Definitely glad I went with this setup. Really, the install wasn't hard at all. It took about an hour total, mounting everything and make sure it's all lined up. It's never going to be perfect, and I've got some adjustments to be made, but there's something about not having to plug anything in and worry about extension cords and all that fun stuff that makes this more than worth it. Where it's really going to be nice is when I got everything all sealed up, the two sides and then this retractable top. The light's going to be all in there, so I'll get a nice little ambiance without having to have everything plugged in. All right, so all in all, I would definitely recommend this set. I'll have a link to it, or the closest product I could find similar to it if it's not available online, Costco.com, because I bought it in the store. So I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy the little bit of daylight I have left out here, and I will see you guys next time. Until then, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for lots more videos like this, DIYs, how-tos, reviews, and everything in between. Oh, that one just turned on. All right, so until next time, peace.